Hi guys, I'm Ryan Houston and welcome to my fly tying channel. Your video is about to start shortly. Please take this opportunity to hit the like button down below, leave some comments, tell your friends. Interaction, likes, subscriptions help my channel to grow and help me to keep producing content for yourselves. If you're new to my channel, check out the other videos that I've got. There are over 500 videos at this stage, so there should be something there for everybody. Again, video is about to start. Hit that like button down below. So we're going to tie a fly called a yuck bug. So a yuck bug, I suppose, is primarily a bass fly. However, it certainly could be used as a trout fly as well. So we have here a bomber style hook, and I'm going to use a black thread. Now what you'll see here, because I'm going to do it slightly different, is that I'm keeping like a long tag here of my tying thread, and I'm actually going to use that as a rib instead of winding back to the back and then winding my thread through the body. So we'll take that down to the back, and then I'm going to come back up across it, and you can see that's making sort of like cross wraps, and that will give me a little bit more grip for the materials. Then I'm going to run a light little coating of Sally Hansen's Hard as Nails onto that, and while it's wet I'm then going to go back down it again. So then we'll have three sort of interlocking thread layers. So for the tail on this fly is just a bit of natural grey squirrel, so we'll cut a bunch of that out. I'm going to grab it by the tips and I'm just going to flick it and then give it a bit of a rub to get most of the rubbish out of it. And then we're going to go for a tail that's a couple of hook gapes. So we'll get our thread started on that. What I'm then going to do, just to give us a bit more security, is to soak the bases of these. So I'm just going to put a little bit of Sally Hansen onto that. You can see it'll start to sort of seep down through them, and then I'll wrap up. You can see they're starting to come together. Now the cut ends in this were not square, so therefore I'm alright to wrap, and it'll give me a sort of a taper. But if I'd cut them off completely square, what you'd have probably had to have done was to cut a chamfer into that there, so that it didn't create a drop off and therefore a step in your body. So take that to the back. What I'm doing here is I'm just holding the tail materials all upwards, and that means as I wrap further back onto them, it'll keep them all on the top of the hook. So what we're going to do now is to do a body of black chenille, and then it's going to have white rubber legs in it. So I'm going to take my chenille here, I'm putting it up to it's just shy of the head, and then wrapping back along itself. And that'll ensure that we have a nice smooth body. So now I'm coming up to slightly less than halfway there, and I'm going to take some white rubber leg material. Take your strand, tie them in now. They're sort of slightly on top here, and then I'm going to fold it across slightly to the other side. Then I'm going to bind those base bits down a little bit tighter and move forward another section, so I'm sort of halfway again between the head and the middle point there. And I'm going to take another bunch here and do the same with them. So another folded over bunch, tie it in, fold it over to the other side and tie across, tie it down, and then take our thread forward. So this is a total mess of a thing to sort of wrap through. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these legs from the front section, pull them forward, and put one turn of thread across them. Then we'll take the rear section legs, pull them forward, put one run of thread across that, and just let it hang. What this will do is to keep them out of the road while we wrap our chenille body. So when we get to the back of this set of legs, we tuck off one turn. That lets these flip back, and then we can advance beyond that. Maybe should have put 2 turns on them. Release that one. So I'm stopping shy of the head here because I want a few turns of hackle on here as well. We'll tie that in. Bind down the chenille, and then we're going to palmer a grizzle hackle down this. So I'm just nipping off the base and then stripping a little bit, and I'm going to tie that in on the top. So if you may notice, I have the shiny side, or the good side, pointing towards myself, and the concave side, or the dull side, pointing away from me, so that when I start to wrap it should assume the standard wet fly formation of a hackle, hopefully. So I'm going to put on my hackle pliers here, and you can see as we start to wrap, shiny side is forward, dull side is back. We'll put on 3 or 4 turns at the front, so that creates a sort of solid hackle structure to the front of the fly. I'm then going to come backwards until I get to the first set of rubber, put my hackle in behind it, continue to keep wrapping, get to the second set of legs. Because my hackle pliers have a bit of weight to them, if you want, you could take all of these bits of rubber and wrap over them at the front, just to keep them in place while you do this. Take our hackle the rest of the way back, and when I'm at the back now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my length of thread that I'd left, and I'm going to wiggle wrap up through the hackles. Then I'm going to take off my hackle, or the turn that was keeping the rubber legs in place, release them, we're trying not to tie down fibres where we can. Take that to the front and tie it off. And then fold it back and create our head. Snip off the thread we used as a rib, snip off the hackle at the rear, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these legs and just hold them all up and the first one is let go there. That means that if I cut them off, they should all then be the length of the shortest one. And we can then reposition them if we want. We can sort of pull them slightly down and out to the side. Maybe turn the fly over so you can See that? So you just take the two legs and pull them sideways, and therefore they should all be sticking out the sides. Shape our head. And finish off. Now as you see, I use my hands, but you can use a whip finisher tool. I just never worked out how to do it. Snip that off, and then we'll finish the head off with a coat of Sally Hansen's Hardest Nails, which I find to be the best varnish out there. And clear, so I'll pull my hackles back and just run that all around. Then take a broken hackle and just clear the eye, and that is our yuck bug tied. So hopefully you like what you see. If you did, give the video a like. As I said, likes and subscriptions help the channel to grow and help me produce more content for yourselves. So until next time, tight lines, and thanks for watching.